Hey everybody, Roxabox90 here with another top 10 EDH Commander card countdown. Yes, finally, it's been a while, but we have another top 10 broken card list, and we're going to go through. This is part 2. We had part 1 already. Anything that's not here is because we probably talked about it in part 1. If you guys are wondering where a card is, go check out part 1 and then come back to part 2 and see what we got going on here. We're going to follow criteria that I usually am trying to be strict on. Broken card list is particularly difficult, so we're going to try to keep these criteria. 1. Multiplayer focused. 2. Overwhelmingly powerful cards. The cards themselves have got to be broken. They got to be the best of their kind. They got to be freaking broken, amazing, warping the entire board around them cards. That's the kind of thing we're looking for here. And then we're also going to have ones that are exclusive EDH Commander and expand broader, trying to include other formats as well. So single format that expands into other formats. Honorable mentions, we got a whole lot to go through. Let's jump in. Wheel of Fortune was the number 1 top red pick. It's freaking amazing. It's arguably the best of its kind. It's so good. Resetting the field for red, giving that kind of card draw is insane. Privileged Position. This card sits in the field and makes you untouchable for most anything outside of Wrath spells, and since it hits all your permanents, it's just not a very nice fair card. Gadok Teague, this guy literally warps the entire field around him. Non-creature spells, locked down. Non-creature spell X, locked down. Very cheap, easy utility guy, freaking amazing. Legendary Mage Zalfir, he literally warps the field. Everybody else suddenly is shrunk into sorcery mode, and it gives you effectively flash and everything that matters. 3 blue makes him very narrow and niche, but man, he is a powerhouse in this format. Really strong card. Mind over matter, kind of the same thing. 4 blue, even more limiting, but man, this card works with so many combos and is one of the key pieces that made Azami such a broken, and still such a broken commander. It's really a fantastic card. Demonic Consultation, an old card most of you probably haven't even heard of, let alone seen. This card is very narrow. It's one of the most epitome powerful black cards out there. Arguably the most extreme tutor ever printed. It lets you tutor for a card for 1 black, but you could risk losing exiling almost your entire deck to get that card. If you're running a combo deck, this card is so scary because you can put together your combo pieces in a turn and win for 1 black, but you risk exiling a whole chunk of your deck. Could be very cool if you put a card if you know the cards at the top, it could combo out well, but it's such a risky card. Pure black, but hilarious and a little too narrow. Regrowth. This is arguably the best of its kind, but it's just a sorcery put back in your hand. Nothing particularly broken or overly powerful about it, but it is the best of its kind and could fit very well into most EDH Commander decks. Contract from Below. This card is actually effectively banned since anti is not allowed, but it is the best draw spell ever. You lose your hand, but you draw 8 cards for 1, and I couldn't be on the list because it's banned, but yeah, it's really strong. Iona, Shield of Emeria, she is, well, there's a lot of controversy around her. She is kind of broken and kind of unfair in the format. I mean, I do think as a unlikable, super powerful card, she's definitely up there. And last up, we have Palancron. This card exists to be broken in combos, and that's pretty much all to mention about it. He is a combo piece, and if he's in a deck, he's not there for any other reason. Really, he shouldn't be. Alright, getting to the list itself, we'll start at number 10 with Doubling Season. Why? Because it, unintentionally by Wizards, is the most powerful of its kind, and is, now that Planeswalkers are becoming so popular, it is ridiculously unfair as a card. 4 and 1 greens, very splashable, very effective. Being able to double counters is crazy. With Planeswalkers, it allows you almost all the time to just ultimate Planeswalkers off the bat. It allows you to work well with plenty of commanders that rely on various kinds of counters. It works in combo decks. It just fits into so many kinds of build and is so flexible, almost unintentionally. If you see the new card Primal something that was printing Commander, that's Wizards saying, we made a huge mistake with this card, the Doubling Season, and we're trying to fix it with this one. But as you can see, Doubling Season is by far heads him above the best of it. That being said, it's not nearly as broken as some of the other cards on the list, so it's at the bottom. Number 9, Lightning Greaves. This card has just fantastic utility. It's arguably the best of its kind in terms of equipment, but swords are really good. It was very hard for me to figure out where I could fit it on the list that would work. It's overall fantastic. I wasn't sure Soren Markov or Magister Sphinx, but this card, Magister Sphinx, is just not fair. Soren is 3 black, but he also can only be done once, and he can't be easily recurred. He can't be easily broken. Magister Sphinx, this guy makes not only games unfair, but it's so powerful. It destroys every life gain build in existence. It prevents any infinite life in existence. It warps the field in terms of anyone having, if someone has a good life total and is winning the game, suddenly you can literally bring them down to within an inch of death in Commander multiplayer. And it's crazy because you can flicker him in and out of play to hit multiple players. You can flash him in from the graveyard, you bring him in from the graveyard, you can tutor him up and put him right into play very easily. You can use flash to flash him in. There's just so many ways to ridiculously abuse him. Jedi Navigator number 7, also on my broken list. This guy is so hard to deal with, and without a wrath effect going on, he's just effectively unkillable. I mean, anyone with half a brain will keep mana open to protect him, but also he allows you to flicker and use the thing he's soul bonded to. The opponent somehow deals with the thing he's soul bonded to, you just put something else. He not only works crazy well in decks, he and Palinchron are instant combo infinite mana. He is there's just so many ways he can be used, I can't even talk about them all, but he literally warps the game around him. And immediately it's like, who has a wrath spell? Do you? Guys, we need a wrath spell. Somebody get a wrath spell. And that becomes the chant for until he's dealt with. Number 6, we have Prophet of Krufix. This card takes Teferi, and then you take Seaborn Muse, and you have a baby that takes both broken aspects of them and puts it together into a even more broken card. This is probably the most powerful card that's in Standard in Commander. Seriously, I mean, maybe besides for Garruk Apex Predator, I mean, I don't know what else affects nearly as many boards as this card does. It gives you, every turn, you get your lands and creatures untapped, and then you can play creatures flashed. This card, I have yet to see it stick to the table and not warp the field around it. Number 5, we have Consecrated Sphinx. This card is, yes, it's insane. I've heard people on the first list came and said, where is Consecrated Sphinx? Here it is. This card is broken flat up. It's board warping, destructive. The game becomes about Consecrated Sphinx. Everyone's trying to clone it, copy it, double it, use it, steal it, you name it. This card is being sought after because of just how board warping it is. In a format where people are drawing tons of cards, suddenly you become the ultimate draw person, and it gives you literally full advantage in the game, non-stop, until it's dealt with. Cyclonic Rift, the number 1 blue card on my top 10 blue Commander cards. This card, if it can fit in a deck, it is the best wrath spell in existence, pretty much. 7 mana for literally everyone else losing everything. It's just so much advantage in such a little package, and being able to, if you need to get rid of an online permanent for 2 is totally fair. But the overload is really what brings this card into it. It's just one of the most powerful wraths for this format in existence. I think the most powerful. Number 3, Snapcaster Mage. Yes, this guy I had to come back around to. He's a thing, people. He's a good, not only just in every format is he a thing, but in Commander, he is a thing. I could just go on about him. He makes every single instance of sorcery reusable. It can be flashed. He's a flash creature, which almost doesn't matter, but he activates stuff as a creature, and he gives you access to all your instance of sorceries super easily. And you know that game warping card, that one card you just played, that was instant sorcery, he lets you play it again. Doubles all the instant sorceries in your deck effectively, and he is one of the most out of the box toolbox cards that exists. Number 2, Sensei's Divining Top, and a Scroll Rack will be the honorable mention for number 2. This is the best filter card in the format, effectively. It protects itself, and it allows you to search the top 3 cards anytime you want that you have mana. Colorless fits into any deck. There's a reason it's $20 to $30 uncommon. Number 1, Vampiric Tutor. And Mystic Tutor and Worldly Tutor I'll put next to it because they are a little more narrow, but same idea. The idea is you have an instant speed tutor for 1 that gets you any card you need. In a format that requires grabbing stuff out of decks, these are the best tutors. I mean, Vampiric Tutor I think is arguably the best tutor in the format, simply because it gets you anything you want at instant speed. It goes on top of your deck, true, that's a negative, but most tutors in the format are sorcery speed. And having one that's instant speed for 1 mana that gets you any card you need, it is the best of its kind effectively for that reason. That's nearly as you in terms of its brokenness. Flash instant tutor for anything for 1 mana. That is my top 10 EDH Commander Broken Cards Part 2. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please tap that like button. If you're new to the channel, check in and subscribe for more of these coming your way. If you guys have your own comments to make about the video, go put them down below in the comments section. And if you guys want to check out my Patreon page, you can see the kind of rewards you guys can get if you support the channel. The most important aspect being you will get more of these top 10 videos coming your way quickly, efficiently, highest quality possible. Thanks for watching, everybody. Roxbox90 signing out. I'll see you guys next time.